And hello fellow gamers, I am back yet again playing another game. This time I'm playing Dangerous Dave on a PC, and yes indeed this is a real PC because just like in all of my gameplay videos I'm playing on real hardware. This time with a shareware copy of the game because I don't have a physical copy. That's kind of where I sort of bend my rules a little bit because I don't play downloaded games unless the game is freeware downloadable or shareware downloadable. Otherwise, if the only way to get a real registered or legal full version of the game, I go ahead and go for a real copy of it. Anyway, I'll shut up here and play Dangerous Dave. No, I don't want to quit. I want to go. Okay, so this is a side-scroller. It is a pseudo-platformer, or a pseudo-side-scroller. It is an actual platformer. Off to a good start, aren't I? And I'm controlling Dave there. And doing my best to jump. Collect the thingies. The only thing you really have to collect in each level is that trophy up there. Now it says go through the door down at the bottom. The other things here are basically just for score. And then once you get that, you go through the door. Imagine that. Only 9 more levels to go. I think I've only actually, in my personal time playing this game, I've only gotten to like level 3 or 4. So I'm wondering if this might not actually be a shareware copy of the game. It might be the full version, which has been released freely. I downloaded it from archive.org, and so if it was actually pirated and put up there, then I don't think it would have stayed up there for very long. As far as I know, archive.org is curated, so somebody would have caught it. If you can hear the keys clicking on this, I'm playing using the keyboard. This game does have joystick support. I'm not sure what PCR means right there. If somebody knows, though, post something in the comments. I was going to play this using a joystick, but for some reason this game can't detect my Gravis gamepad. So it's not that hard to play this game with the keyboard. Now I have a gun. I can blow stuff to shit. See, only the screen... Oh, shit. I got blown up by a fire-breathing spider. Which is, I bet, a phrase that nobody on the entire planet was saying at that exact moment in time. Still have a gun, though. Yes. I think I was saying something before, but now I forgot what it was. Because I already mentioned the joystick problem. Oh, piss. I didn't jump that right. It caught me by the toenail. I guess this is using PC speaker sound, which I have redirected through the sound card in this computer. It's kind of nice. Because typically, in most PCs, it still had a PC speaker. PCs of this age and older, and probably newer. Let me get this jetpack. Now, can I actually make it over here? Because you can go way over here. Oh, can I? No, I'm not going to make it back. Oh, shit, I did make it back. I've never done that before. And then I walk into the fire because I forget what button goes jump. Son of a bitch. I forgot what I was saying again. Oh yeah, PC speaker. In most PCs, the PC speaker is a little speaker that's actually inside the computer case, and all it produces is these very simple bleeps and bloops. Bitch! And you typically can't adjust the volume of it, and since it's its own dedicated speaker, it normally does not come out through the sound card along with the rest of the audio, unless you happen to have a sound card that has an input for the PC speaker and a motherboard that has a detachable PC speaker, so you can then run a cable from where the speaker was connected into the sound card. And so that's exactly how I'm doing this. Currently broadcasting this at 5 megabits, which is beyond way fucking overkill. This game supposedly does support sound output besides PC speaker, because I can hit F2 to go into the control panel, and you can go down to here and change it to that, but then I don't get any sound at all, so apparently I don't know how to make that work. You could also see there on the control panel screen, on the third line controls on keyboard now, no mouse detected because I haven't loaded a mouse driver, but then neither joystick is detected either. And yet, my Gravis gamepad works just fine in other DOS games on this exact same PC without me having to change anything. So, could just be a quirk of this game, trying to detect the joystick and not being flexible enough. Oh, you penis. For the people watching on the live stream right now, it sounds like the storm going on outside might have ramped back up, so if I suddenly disappear, you'll know that my power went out. And no, I don't really know the timing for hitting that spider, I'm just kind of guessing. Game seems to be lenient in its collision detection for that spider, which is, you know, nice. Oh, but. So you don't really fall straight down in this game, you fall at an angle. So, at least whenever you, like, walk off of something. So while you're falling at an angle, and you're kind of having to fight it on the way down. But you only move diagonally, falling at one speed. So as soon as you tap the other direction, you're immediately falling at full speed the other direction. See that? That's actually pretty tough. And by the way, it wasn't when you're just walking off of something. It seems to be like once you pass a certain vertical point in your fall, Sean says, nice shot. Thank you, Sean. Okay. So, how did I turn this thing on before? How the hell did I do that? Oh, I don't have the jetpack. Wait, yes, I have the jetpack. What the fuck? What did I do? Oh, okay. You hit Alt. Control fires the gun. Alt turns on the jetpack. You buttbag game. Somehow I had a feeling I wasn't going to make it that time. Figures, as usual, the first time that I try it, and I don't think it's going to work, that's the time that works. Yeah, Sean even called it in the chat. He said not gonna make it. You were right, Sean. Now there are some kind of dickish items in this game, like that red crystal thing right there. I'm pretty sure there's no way to get that without dying. It's just a tease. And that silver one down there too. And all of those down there, because the water does kill you. PCR. I really don't know what that means. Yeah. Sean says that those are suicide pieces. Or he says it's a suicide piece. So do you mean the entire game is a suicide piece? Like a piece of art only for suicides? Oh, fuck! I saw that that was about to hit me and I tried to jump over it. So, public service announcement, kids. When you're trying to shoot a fire-breathing spider with a gun, don't? I don't know how the PSA ends. I know what I'll do. I will turn the jetpack on in midair so I can get a little bit more time out of it. I'll also ram my head as far up into the ceiling as possible so that whenever it dies, I got a little bit of runoff space. Now, how the fuck do I get back up there? I don't think you do. It reminds me of a Seinfeld clip that you guys should all watch, where he had called ahead to reserve a rental car, and he went to go pick it up. And when he went to go pick it up, the car wasn't there. And so I'm using interaction between him and the sales lady ensues, and he says something like, I think I know why you take reservations, and it's to, I don't know, make more money or something. And she says, I know why we take reservations. And he says, I don't think that you do. In such a way that hints that that's just the beginning of this conversation. Maybe there's a jetpack somewhere in that level. Anyway, if you look up Seinfeld reservation on YouTube, that should be enough keywords to narrow down the search. The best part about it is it's like the whole situation was born of what you can tell was some kind of corporate decision at the rental car place, where corporate made a rule that makes sense only in corporate world, which is nowhere, and when attempted to apply that rule to the real world, something stupid happens, such as making a reservation for a car and then you go to pick it up and it's not there. And I think we've all been in a situation like that, where we've been in a customer service situation and victims of some stupid rule that makes sense in theory but doesn't work out in the real world. And so that entire scene was relatable because we've all been there. And that's what made it funny. And now by explaining it, I've ruined the humor. So, yeah. By the way, this game, well, not this game specifically, but Tom Smith and Jay Moser, both frequent viewers of my channel, requested that I play more DOS games. So that's why I'm playing this. As far as some history goes, this game was made by John Romero. You've probably heard of him because he's still riding on the coattails of Doom, because he did do some work on Doom. He was there at the beginning of id Software and had a hand in helping to make many of their revolutionary PC gaming products. But before id Software, he was making stuff on his own, and this was one of the games he made on his own. That was back in the days where individual guys could have one computer at their home, or in the case of id, computers that they borrowed from their workplace. And, you know, I'm not going to try and get up there anymore. I don't think I can make that. But individual guys with a single computer could make an entire game and sell it to a publisher. And as games got more complex, that became more and more difficult and cost prohibitive for individual people to do. But then software tools caught up with and then kept pace with the hardware. And so then, recently, in the past couple of years, we've seen a resurgence of games whose development history is somewhat like this one, where it's an entire game except it runs on modern hardware with modern graphics, music, and sound effects and gameplay that are released not to specific publishers who are looking around for games, but on Steam. And some of those individual made games have gone on to become immensely popular, like Axiom Verge, for example. Or I believe Stardew Valley was also made by a single guy. And that situation just makes me happy to no end that we've come full circle like that. That a smart dude or woman, or whatever you happen to identify as, a smart person with their computer can make a game, release it on Steam, and make $1 million with it. That's how Minecraft was too. Minecraft originally made by one dude, called himself Notch. And I heard a story where not in its like initial days, but like within, I'd say, the first year or so of Minecraft's initial release, Notch was accepting PayPal donations for the game, and he was making so much money in donations that PayPal suspected there was some kind of scam going on, so they froze his account. And of course he got it fixed and everything, but I mean, that goes to tell you just how much money he was making. It's nuts. And one of these days, if I'd ever get off my ass and work on my own game some more, maybe I could release it and, you know, maybe someone would play it. And maybe even a few someones would pay for it, I don't know. I've decided to no longer go after that crystal that's on the right, the crystal ball purple thing, because it doesn't really seem worth the risk. Sean says the piece that requires the jetpack, make it but not to door. I don't know what you mean, Sean. You talking about this? The trophy, the goblet, the grail, whatever that's called? The one that I suspect is a jetpack for over here. One that I haven't been able to get to yet because of crazy spike ball of death. Bitch. Sean says, you know I would play and buy your game. Thank you, Sean. That's very supportive of you. Can you give me $1 million for it? Because, that's about all I think I'll need. Leap of faith, and it worked out. I'm reminded of a Simpsons episode. Don't know the name of the episode, but it was the one where Lisa was sick of the poor role model image that Malibu Stacy, her favorite doll, which is an analog of Barbie, she was tired of that poor role model image that was giving to women when they released a talking Malibu Stacy doll. And all she said was things like, I don't know, I'm just a girl. Ha, ha. And so her frustration, oh, there's a jetpack. Her frustration led her to catch up to the original inventor of the Malibu Stacy doll. And together they created the Lisa Lionheart doll and released it to stores, and only one girl ended up buying it. And shit, if I had not jumped right there, I'd be alive. But after the one girl decided to buy it, the Malibu Stacy creator said something like, too bad she's going to have to pay, I don't know, like $250,000 for that doll or something. Fuck. Oh, I see what Sean was saying. He was saying to get the trophy in that final level that maybe I needed to take the jetpack through from the previous level. Which is a fair assumption. I don't think it'll actually let you do that, though. Because the past couple of times I have flown through the door with the jetpack still on and still with, plenty of meter left. And I don't think I've started the next level with it. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. You getting tired of that jump sound effect yet? Sean says no. Well, yes. I'm feeling argumentative right now. Perhaps a bit like our friend Keeligast. Keeligast is a semi-frequent viewer on the stream and a real-life friend of me and John. You've seen him on one of my previous streams as John. Ever since then, schedules haven't really lined up for us to do another one. Or it comes time during the week when he is off work and thus available to do a stream with me, and then I just plain don't remember to call him, or text him, as it would be, because I don't call people. He actually did text me before I started the stream to ask me if I'd bought Earth Defense Force yet, which is just about one of the newest games I've ever played, and a whole hell of a lot of fun too. He and I played that split-screen multiplayer in his computer, not on a stream or anything, just us playing. And it is a feast. It is a feast of energy and audio and testosterone. Wait, what, Sean? He says the something, that's an emoji that it's stuck in there. The something is something you can get with the jetpack, but you can't make it back and up to the door. The crystal that I was talking about in the level before this one. The one I decided not to get anymore. But notice though, Sean, I haven't been picking that up anymore, but I've still been using the jetpack, and I've been flying through the door with the jetpack turned on. And you, in order to get back up to the door, you have to use the jetpack. You have to use it for at least a little bit. You don't have to go get the crystal, but you still have to use the jetpack for a little bit. Ah, that was weird. Nah, that's what you get when you're trying to jump with something on your head. Oh, fuck! No, Sean says that he did hear the first time I was explaining the thing about the jetpack and not being able to take it through the door. And then he says it's the lag between the play and the text that makes things harder to explain. Really surprised Jay isn't watching this. He knows this game. He loves this game. He loves basically everything id and everything made by people, by id people before id. Sean says the collision detection is interesting. Yeah, it is. Especially for this bullet hitting the spider. There's been several times where it seemed like I haven't actually hit it, but it still registers hit, so it's a little forgiving that way. And this is why I like playing with gamepads and controllers, because this game's going to give me carpal tunnel. But that's the sacrifice I make for you, dear viewer. I'm willing to let my hands rot off so that you can see a game. Oh, that was luck. I actually flubbed that landing and landed up higher than what I meant to. But if I had landed lower like I had intended to, I would have gotten shot by the spider. Or not the spider, but whatever that thing is. Oh, damn it. Get up there. Okay. Now, can I do it? Here's where I wish I had that friggin' gun. Fuck! See, I was intentionally standing down there so that I could wait and see if he fired up at the top, and then I could go up there without getting shot. And then I didn't jump out of his shot on the bottom fast enough. I still have the jetpack though. Oh shit. I used that in the wrong place and I'm getting stuck on the walls. Whew. Oh. That thing was really making me sweat. Okay, I just kind of want to see the lay of the land here. Pretty sure those wiggly things will kill me. Looks like going up this way may be somewhat safe. Sean says, this game is Mario inspired, but there's no timer. Which is pretty damn sweet as far as I'm concerned. I've never really liked timers in games. It seems like a way of artificially inflating the difficulty. Okay, so I've never climbed a tree before, so apparently you don't have to do anything to grab the tree. You just... You apparently, though, do have to grab it on the way up on your jump. Can I kill it? Yes, I can kill that. Yes. And I got an extra life. Nice. You can see my typical gameplay luck here. Very first time ever playing this level, ever, and I actually get pretty far. And every iteration after this is just going to be me getting progressively more impatient and screwing it up sooner and sooner and sooner. But the enemies are still killed, and I still have the gun. Oh shit. I don't know if I could have made that even with a perfect jump. Now it's funny, Sean, that you mentioned that this game is Mario inspired because it might have been, it was right around the time that this game was made, late 80s. It was either shortly before this game was made or shortly after. No, it would have been after, because John Romero was at... no? Because, see, John Romero and John Carmack originally worked for Soft Disk. At least that's where they met, I think. And Soft Disk was a publisher who was, I guess, also sort of a developer? Well, no, they weren't a publisher. or they weren't a developer, they were just a publisher. But John Carmack and John Romero were both the developers that were making the software that SoftDisk was publishing. And so I don't know if that means that they were exclusive to SoftDisk and thus like a SoftDisk internal team, but whatever. But I think it was while they were there, but before they had started id Software, John Carmack had figured out how to do smooth scrolling on the PC, smooth horizontal scrolling in a side-scroller, which the PC technically did not have dedicated hardware to do. PC video adapters, be they CGA, EGA, or VGA, have never had things like consoles typically had as standard hardware features, like, for example, support for sprites and scrolling backgrounds, multiple parallaxing scrolling backgrounds, that kind of stuff. PCs never really had that. So to get that kind of behavior in a PC took some very, very well-designed, geniusly programmed software. It all had to be done in software. But John Carmack discovered a technique with the EGA video adapter that allowed him to horizontally move the entire visible buffer by 1 pixel to just shift the whole thing. And by doing that repeatedly, he couldn't do the whole screen that way, but he could do enough for like a single tile, I think. But by doing that technique repeatedly, 1 pixel at a time, and quickly enough, with the right timing, you could get smooth scrolling on the PC. And so the first demo that he tried this technique out in was called Dangerous Dave in Copyright Infringement. And the reason it was called that is because it was very, very, very much graphically a total ripoff of Super Mario Bros. 3. They had replicated most of the first level of the first world in Super Mario Bros. 3 into this PC demo. They didn't officially release the demo. They didn't sell it or anything. In fact, what they did was they showed the demo to Nintendo and said, hey, would you like us to develop this further so that there can be a Super Mario Bros. 3 port, an official port published by you, Nintendo, on the PC? And Nintendo basically said they weren't interested. And so that was the end of that demo, but not the end of the graphical technique. That technique went on to be used in the Commander Keen series of video games. And that technique, this 1 pixel scrolling technique, combined with some very intelligent tile rendering, so that only the parts of the screen that it actually changed while moving sprites, which were software sprites, there was no hardware sprites, only the bits that it actually changed, and while scrolling, were actually rendered to the screen. So that intelligent redrawing combined with the screen shifting technique, John Carmack called adaptive tile refresh. And there's actually an article on that on Wikipedia, if you would like to look that up for more information. But I love little bits of game development history like that. It's absolutely fascinating. Nothing breeds good programmers as good as popular but underpowered hardware. Shit! I knew that was going to happen. I've actually experienced a bit of that myself at my job. Nothing nearly as cool as adaptive tile refresh, but just the general idea that something's not going fast enough, and you have to come up with a way to make it faster. It has a way of forcing you to reach into your bag of tricks and see what you can pull out. And so there's been a number of times where working on stuff at work where I have done performance optimizations like that, and let me tell you, there is nothing more difficult but also simultaneously rewarding for me to do in my job than performance optimizations. Because that feeling you get after you realize that now your code is doing exactly what it did before, or more, but now it's doing it faster. That feeling is absolutely intoxicating. Oh, I tried to shoot the dude and I didn't have a gun anymore. Oh, that was sweet. Oh, fuck! Spider shot just barely clipped me. Oh, that was just dumb. I thought I could make that jump all the way across there. I knew it wasn't going to work as soon as I did it. But I think I've played this game enough and it's kicked my butt enough. I had certainly got further in it now than I ever have, so that's pretty cool. But that's the end of this recording, so thank you for watching. And I'm going to be playing some more DOS games sometime soon. If you have any suggestions for ones that are shareware or freeware, I would love to play them on my channel. Put them in the comments if you have such a suggestion. Or you can tweet them at me on Twitter. You can find a link to my Twitter profile on my YouTube channel page. And you can also follow me on Twitter if you want to know when I am live streaming. So, until the next game and next stream, I'll see you.